Alrighty, today I'm going to be talking about happiness. Okay, this obscure thing that when I talk to clients, one of the first things that comes to mind when it's like, what do you want? Like, let's get past losing the weight. Let's get past the physicality of our body. Like, what do you really want? Like, why do you want to be able to move and do the things that you love? Because they want to be happy. It's one of our foundational human needs. Happiness, when we are feeling happy, it's a reassurance that we are on the right path, that we are doing the things that we should be doing in this world, right? Now, happiness, the reason why I'm going to talk to you about it today is because I think we get really lost in the how to find it. We get really lost in I'm going to get happy when I accomplish this. I'm going to be happy when I have this. I'm going to be happy when I get in this relationship, when I buy this house, this car, when I have a partner to spend the rest of my life with, when I get married, when I have kids, when I retire. We wait for all these moments to be happy when in reality, we have everything we need to have the most abundant state of happiness that comes from within. Like I looked up the physiological definition of like what is happiness. And it's an emotional state that is characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. Now, in no part in that is it saying you got to have the things, you got to have the person, you got to have the body. It's not saying that anywhere. Joy, contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment. And what's so freeing and liberating is to realize you can have all of those without any of the things, without any of the money, without any of the people. What? Mind blown. Wild. Yeah, but it's true. It all can come from right here. All right. So, how do we do this? How do we get it to come from here? Okay. It starts with making small changes. Okay, starts with making small changes in your day to day. All right, so I'm going to share with you 5 things that you guys can do to increase your happiness levels. Nothing crazy, doesn't require you spending more money. It requires you to be intentional with your time. Okay, so number 1, how do we increase our happiness levels? Mindful morning routine. Okay, I'm going to really emphasize it's really about the bookends of the day, right? The beginning and the end. But right now, if you had to choose one, we're going to rock our morning. Okay, a mindful morning routine. So, starting your day in a positive state. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to share with you some tactics that I've found that work really well in my life and have worked well in many of my clients' lives. So, first thing, get rid of the phone, right? If you have a way to get that phone out of the bedroom, do it. How many of you have checked your emails first thing in the morning and you wake up in this state of distress because you realize you got to put out like 10 fires at work today because you checked your email, right? The email can wait 30 minutes. So, first 30 minutes to an hour, ditch the phone. Okay. It's also not great to have that kind of device sitting in your bedroom. It actually can cause inflammation of the brain, which is no bueno. Okay. Number 2, meditation. Oh, truly one of the if I had to pick one thing out of this entire list that I'm telling you to do to be happy, I'd probably be with meditation. Um, and with meditation, you don't have to sit with like the necklaces on, the candles, the crystals, like Buddha with the hands like this. No, you just need to have a moment of stillness. You need to have a moment of peace and quiet within yourself. So you can do that through guided meditations. There's so many apps out there now, Calm and Headspace. You can look up YouTube, tons of amazing YouTube meditations. You can even just set your timer on your watch and just go 3 minutes. Put on some soothing music, focus on your breath, good to go. But that's going to get you in a really, really positive state and steady state for the day. You're going to be less reactive when you take this time, and you're going to be much more proactive. You're going to feel, how many of you are happy when you feel like the day is completely just like a shit show? You're just putting out fires left and right. Everything's disorganized. You feel like you're constantly playing catch up. How many of you are happy in that state? Probably not many, unless you're a psychopath. No, I'm just kidding. How many of you feel really good, feel really happy when you feel like I feel like I'm kind of ahead of the game. I feel like I'm really on top of everything. All my duties, I'm getting them done in a timely and efficient manner. I feel like I'm serving my relationships with my people really well. I'm just naturally feeling a little bit more relaxed, right? That is meditation is a vessel, is a tool that's going to really help you get into that state, right? Like I said, you don't need to be Buddha, okay? Just sit in stillness. And if you need more help on those modalities, reach out to me, and I'm glad to send you some resources. All right. Next thing, a little bit of movement. Let's get a little bit of movement in. This is totally up to you. I feel like you'll find whatever movement feels best. You can go with some light stretches. I tend to explore a range of motion at my joints. I'll do a bunch of different just arm circles. I'll go through some neck circles, some trunk stuff, or a light yoga flow for like literally 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to get into the science behind why movement's going to be really happy, or it's going to really help serve your happiness. And then gratitude journal. Right now, I challenge you. What's one thing you're grateful for? Just boom, off the bat. What's the first thing that comes through? What are you grateful for? Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm so grateful for my ability to move. It's always at the top of my list. The fact that I have the ability to work out, to snowboard, to hike, to ski, to bike, to swim, to get from place A to B relatively easily. So grateful. And as I'm saying that, I like want to smile. Okay. I'm getting a little dopamine hit, right? Which is one of our happy hormones, as I talk about what I'm grateful for. So if you listed 10 things that you were grateful for, oh my God, talk about high, man. So you can do a gratitude journal. You can literally list them out loud. I'll actually go through a meditation where I focus on my breath for 10 breaths. Then I list 10 things I'm grateful for. And then a lot of times that's it. So I'm killing 3 birds with 1 stone right there, or 2 birds. So mindful morning routine, those are big pieces of what I've seen to be really successful. But bottom line is just like, get rid of the technology in the morning. Focus, get some moments of silence, some moments of stillness where you're not looking at the news or any of that stuff. Like, truly be with yourself for 30 minutes. And if that's really hard to do, if you cannot make that happen, then I think there's another question that you got to ask, like, why is that so uncomfortable? Okay. So, because really the definition of happiness is being in this continuous state of growth and expansion. Like that's, it's not necessarily a technological definition, but a lot of, like, if you read personal development books, a lot of them will talk about, hey, when you're in this perpetual state, like if you set a goal and you're accomplishing that goal, how good do you feel? You feel freaking phenomenal, right? Absolutely. So being in this perpetual and continuous state of growth, right? So sitting in silence, sometimes that's the discomfort for the day. So good. All right, number 2, I told you I was going to come back and dive a little deeper in this, is exercise. All right, this needs to be a part of your day-to-day. You need to be moving, right? We sit for 8 hours a day at so many of our desk jobs, and it is literally killing us, right? We are getting severe muscle atrophy, right? When your muscles atrophy enough, your organs start shutting down, your endocrine system starts shutting down, your brain starts shutting down, like literally everything shits the bed, and you are dying at an astronomical rate. When you move, not only are you getting stronger, right? But you're actually, like, when you go for a run, like, has anyone here experienced runner's high, right? Where you're running and you're just like, I feel so good. Or during a strength training session or on a hike. like, or literally anything. Have you ever moved and felt good? Okay, that's because your body literally drugs you up with norepinephrine, with dopamine, okay, which are two hormones that are directly linked to elevated levels of happiness. Your body's literally rewarding you for movement, for exercise, okay? So remember, when you're like, oh gosh, like I hate exercise, I don't want to move. First of all, find something you enjoy, find something that you look forward to, and then get the ball rolling from there. And then we can kind of build on top of that, making exercise more intentional. So it's serving you optimally, but start with something you enjoy, because your body will reward you for movement, for producing force through your muscles. Literally, you're getting this like bottomless pit of hormones that are going to elevate your mood. So make exercise a part of your day to day. The medical industry says 150 minutes a week, so 2.5 hours. I say, dude, just find a way to move every day. Put it in your morning routine, evening routine. Find a way to make it consistent. Doesn't mean you're like conquering the world on every workout, but whether it be 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, find a way to move every day. Number 3 is nutrition. Oh, this one hits hard. You can go so many ways in nutrition, but I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it sweet. So gut health is a really popular topic right now. All right. And when we look at our gut and what's controlled there, there's a lot. They call it our second brain, actually, our microbiome, which lines in our gut, call it our second brain. And our immune system and our serotonin levels. Our serotonin is massively controlled in our gut. And so let's go focus on the serotonin side of that a little bit. I mean, we can go on immune and say, hey, when you're not sick, I guarantee you're a little happier. Go to serotonin, that's another happy hormone. That's another hormone that links to an elevated mood. 70% of it is dictated by the state of our gut. So if you are not predominantly eating a whole foods-based diet, which means you're eating foods that had a life, right? Either came from the ground or they came from an ethically sourced animal product. If you're not sticking to those being at least 80% of your diet, we're all wondering why we have so much anxiety and stress and depression. Okay, but we're not taking care of a big area that's in charge of our mood. And so I'm going to keep, like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet on this one. Stick to whole foods. If it had a life, if you got to shop in the middle of the grocery store, it probably didn't have a life. All right. Not saying all cases, but a majority of the time, right? If you look in the back and there's a nutrition label on there and there's a bunch of ingredients that you don't know what they are, probably a sign that it was concocted in a lab. And there's probably some things in there that aren't meant for our gut. And that stuff is literally destroying our gut lining, i.e., destroying your ability to be happy. So if you're someone that struggles with those things, I think looking at your gut health would be a phenomenal place to start. All right, let's go with number 4, positive people. Okay, I'm going to dive into your relationships. All right, the people, you've probably heard the classic quote, like, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. I can not meet you and you show me the 5 people you hang around most, I can get a pretty good idea of what kind of person you are and probably your happiness levels as well. So how do we like filter that out? Well, I think do an audit on your friendships. And when you look at the people you and close in your relationships, in your family, like the people that you hang around the most, let's stick with that core 5. Reflect on conversations, right? What do your conversations consist of? I did a big audit about 2 years ago with this in the back of my mind. I thought of, in what friendships, right? 75% of the time, are we talking about ways that we can better ourselves and ways that we can grow in areas and we're being really present in that moment, right? Or 75% of the time, are we talking about the past, right? Are we like reflecting on like what we used to do in high school and getting fucked up in college and things that or gossiping about others, right? I think 75% of the conversations that you need to have with the people you hang around close need to be serving the person you want to become. Okay. But if it's full of gossip, if it's full of reflection on all the wild times you used to have, not saying it can't be a part of it, but just 75% of it shouldn't be. All right. You really need to reflect, is that someone you, because guess what? If they're living there, so are you. You want to live in the present while also being proactive about where you're going. Okay, so that's a quick way to kind of audit those closest relationships. You hang around positive people, if you hang around people who are super happy, guess what? It's law of attraction. It's literally a law. Okay. So positive people, super important, definitely going to elevate your mood. If you hang around super happy people, you're going to be happy. It's as simple as that. And then the last thing, number 5, this is a big one. I think this is going to hit home for quite a few of you. Create more than you watch. Create more than you watch. Okay. How many of you get caught binging Netflix for like 3.5 hours? Or you're scrolling social media and you look at your screen time and you're on the screen for like 4 hours a day, right? Not saying you can't do those things. I do those things. I go on social media, I watch Netflix, but I'm really aware that my other time is spent creating things. So fortunately, it's a big part of my business is creation. But I think a lot of us lost touch with our gifts. Okay. And we all have creation. We all have artistic abilities. I'm not saying we're all painters or singers or dancers. I would say that those right now are none of my strengths, but I still find so many ways to create in the world of exercise, right? I create workouts, all new workouts, new ways to optimize the human body, create content for my job, which is actually super, super fun. And I really enjoy creating this video for you right here. I want to challenge you to find, what can you create? Are you a writer, singer, dancer, painter, right? You create workouts, whatever, like look. And if you're like, I'm so lost, I have no idea where to start with that. Where are your gifts? Like, what are you good at? Right? Are you really thoughtful? Like, are you someone that really takes care of the people closest to you? Well, go and like create something that's going to make them super happy. Sometimes it's even just writing a text, shooting a text of 5 people saying, hey, I really love you and appreciate you. Like, create anything. Just do it more than you're watching. Do it more than you're consuming, maybe some mindless shows or just scrolling through social media, right? Because 2 things, and this is scientifically proven, that make people the happiest, that bring people, like the happiest communities, do these 2 things. They really value relationships and selfless acts. Relationships and selfless acts. Okay? So let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Create something and give it to somebody else with no expectations in return. All right. That's it. Bottom line, guys, your happiness is all within your control. Stop waiting for the weather to change, right? Stop waiting for the next big step in your life, right? Control the controllables, which is what I just shared with you, what you put in your body, how you spend your morning routine, how you move your body, the people you choose to surround yourself with, right? How much are you creating? How much are you feeling inspired, right? Don't just numb the feelings in that moment, because you're just suppressing them and harboring them in a way that's going to manifest and get worse down the road. So control the controllables, create your happiness within, because that feeling of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment all are right here. Right? They're all right here. Just embrace them. Okay. I hope you took some notes on this one. There we have it.